Hello everyone, you are about to hear a brief recap of the movie Bad Samaritan. Enjoy watching. Some boy whipped a horse to death and then finished the animal off completely. This happened in the past. Now, we are following a young photographer named Sean. His girlfriend Riley came to see him. Sean wanted to take an intimate photo of her. Riley wasn't comfortable with it, but she agreed anyway. The main thing is that no one else ever sees the shot. Sean is also a thief. Among the stolen goods, he picked out an emerald ring to give to his mom for her birthday, Nucius. His stepfather wants the guy to become a professional photographer, but our curly-haired friend is a creative soul who refuses to sit in an office. It's another thing to rob houses with his accomplice, Derek Kick. After splitting the loot, the two headed off to their part-time job. They work as valets at a restaurant. Guys get $3 for every car they park. In reality, their job is just a tool to break into the houses of the rich. Derek hopped into the victim's car and drove off to rob their home in their own vehicle. The house didn't even have the alarm system activated. As it turned out, it wasn't the alarm protecting the family from such thieves, but a massive Doberman. Derek had to ditch the loot and return to the restaurant with nothing.
And washing cars brought in more money anyway. Yes.
It seemed the evening was ruined, but then a rich guy pulled into the parking lot in a Maserati. A very rude rich guy.
And don't sweat. You smell like a hobo.
Nice car, sir.
Don't you dare touch it.
Well, it would be a sin not to rob a guy like that. The GPS showed that driving to this man's house would take only 3 minutes, so Sean pulled into the garage and was pleasantly surprised. This guy doesn't have an alarm system at all. Even though the interior clearly shows that the owner is at least a millionaire. Inside an envelope, Sean found a new black credit card. He could withdraw 15 grand from it. But first, the card needed to be activated. Sean wandered around the house until he found a landline phone. The relaxed thief flopped onto the bed and, calling bank support, activated the credit card. He reached into a drawer and found handcuffs. What a sick bastard. He could have left already, but Sean noticed a door with a heavy-duty lock. Something very valuable must be hidden behind it. Sean huffed and puffed a bit, found the right key, and entered the room. There was a checkbook lying on the desk. Sean took a photo of the account number, and at that moment the flash illuminated a girl chained to a chair. Instead of a gag, she had a horse bit in her mouth. Sean managed to remove it. He intends to free the girl. Though he has very little time, as Kale is already on his way home and he always wears the key to the chains around his neck. His partner called to warn him that the rich man was already waiting for his car. Meanwhile, the girl begs to be released.
I don't care that you're robbing his house. I won't tell anyone, I swear.
Sean was about to go down to the garage for tools. Katie stopped the thief. He had to put everything back because Kyle is constantly watching her on camera. He even had to return the damn bolt cutters. Sean grabbed the bolt cutters and was about to head back, but another room caught his eye. Turned out to be either a cutting room or a torture chamber. Sean saw a large number of tools, chemicals, and even traces of blood. Waiting for the car, Kyle turned on the lights and the security camera in his office. In the end, Sean got scared he'd be caught on video and just fled the monster's den. The guy arrived back. Wiping away tears, he noticed the bolt cutters he'd accidentally left on the seat and tossed them down. Returning the car, Sean immediately showed his friend a photo of the girl, chained up like an animal. He intends to call the police, even though he knows it could lead to serious trouble. Sean made an anonymous call and provided the address where the girl is being held right now.
Our innocent robberies are over. We'll never steal anything again, I swear to you.
The maniac returned home and carefully inspected his office. Everything seems to be in place, including his victim. However, Kyle then noticed the rumpled bed. He redialed the last number and found out that someone had called the bank. That someone was in his house. Sean was already on duty near the house. He wanted to see with his own eyes how they would arrest that scoundrel. The man walked out to the police officers in a bathrobe. Then some woman appeared, apparently his mistress. The lady said no one had harmed her and the couple went back into the house. In short, the rich guy wasn't arrested. After a while, Kyle saw his guest out and noticed a conspicuous old junker parked nearby. You don't usually see cars like that in this neighborhood, Sean had to lie down on the seat so he wouldn't be noticed. A couple of minutes later, his friend Derek arrived.
Why didn't you give the captive a phone? Do you think I haven't asked you that 1,000 times? I got scared.
Sean is going to wait until the maniac falls asleep and then break into his house, But something even better happened. Kyle drove off somewhere in the middle of the night. And the window was open too.
I want to report a break-in in my neighborhood. Thank you.
The friends walked up to the office door. There was no lock on it anymore, and no hostage inside the office either. Suddenly, the guys heard a police siren and rushed to leave through the backyard. Meanwhile, Katie was lying in the back seat of Kyle's Maserati. Well, it was time for the next stage of her training. Sean is going to go to the police right now. He doesn't care if he goes to jail. He has to save the girl. It will be the truly right thing to do. Kyle brought his captive to his country house. He replaced her collar with an electric one, so Kate couldn't scream no matter what. The rich man admitted he intended to tame the woman. If she submits to him, one day she will be free. Kate washed herself just as her master ordered. She thought Kyle was going to take her, but he disgustedly threw her a towel and ordered her to her cell. Marks on the wall made it clear that Kate wasn't the first captive here. Sean went to the police station and showed the detective a photo of the girl. He even honestly admitted that he had planned to rob the rich man. Sean already had a record, so he was taking a serious risk. Regardless, Sean is ready to sacrifice his freedom to save Kate. The detective reluctantly agreed to check Kyle's house. The rich man even managed to startle the policeman when he snuck up from behind. Otherwise, he played the part of an ordinary citizen concerned about the police visiting his home for the third time that day.
You don't have a chained-up girl in your office.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Kyle noticed that his bolt cutters were missing. The detective, meanwhile, entered the torture chamber. True, by that time, all the tools had already been hidden. In short, the policeman didn't find anything suspicious. He returned to the station and ordered Sean to get out, or he'd end up behind bars himself. And that photograph the guy likely just downloaded from the internet. Now, if Sean is so persistent, he can try the FBI. He noticed the conspicuous car at his house again and decided to deal with his curly-haired problem once and for all. First, he installed a tracker on Sean's car. He reached out to FBI agent Olivia Fuller for help, but it seems they want to help him no more than at the police station. At the office exit, Kyle was waiting with a syringe, but seeing the guy's reaction, he realized he hadn't been noticed, meaning he could still play with QT. While Sean was taking a shower, Kyle snuck into his apartment. He could have killed his enemy on the spot, but instead he downloaded all the data from his computer and stole the memory card from his camera. Now the most interesting part begins. Pretending to be an unhappy client, Kyle called the restaurant and demanded to fire the valets he saw at the police station today. Sean stopped by the university to see his girlfriend and asked Riley to go home. But she has an important exam today, so she isn't going anywhere. At the same time, Dre saw two guys standing at his shift's workstation. It turns out he was fired without warning. Dre got angry and started a fight in the middle of the street. In the lair, finished with the dog collar, Kate put it on and, entering the cell, locked herself in. Good little horse. Kyle hacked into Sean's Facebook account and told his girlfriend to go to hell. They were supposedly broken up. Then he sent an intimate photo of Riley to all the students in the lecture hall, along with her relatives and friends. An upset Riley sent the guy a voice message. What a complete bastard he is. Sean immediately rushed to her dorm to explain himself and convince her he didn't do any of it. However, his girlfriend told him to get lost.
I didn't do it.
Tell that to her father. I'm begging you, please.
Returning to his car, Sean found it wrecked with the tires slashed. Just then, Kyle almost hit him at full speed. Sean arrived at his parents' place and learned his stepfather had been fired. Kyle had planted stolen equipment in his car and made an anonymous call to his boss. His mom was out of a job too. Someone, it's obvious, who slandered the woman. Allegedly, she had struck a child. Riley still hopes that it's all some kind of mistake. Sean couldn't have done that to her. He had just asked to meet, but an unknown assailant attacked her in an alley. He slammed her head against the wall a couple of times and threw her into the basement. Even that wasn't enough for Kyle. He wanted to take his anger out on the prisoner and beat her with a whip, but changed his mind and just left her without breakfast. Meanwhile, Agent Fuller found a match for the missing girl, and the mentioned chains and leather straps point to a serial killer operating across America. It seems to be some rich heir who did something terrible as a boy. And now he has changed his name and surname. Sean was informed that Riley had been admitted to the hospital. He was absolutely terrible, hooked up to tubes, and unable to even speak. Sean honestly admitted he had messed up. He broke into a man's house, and now that man wants revenge. Riley grabbed a notepad and wrote for the guy to get away. Sean immediately warned his friend about the danger. However, Derek didn't take it seriously. Kyle was already hiding in the closet and attacked the boy with a baseball bat. After beating Derek, the psycho blew the guy's brains out and placed the gun in his hand. And Sean had been calling the guy this whole time. Video chat was on, and when Kyle picked up the phone, Sean managed to take a screenshot. This proves the killer was at the crime scene. Arriving at Derek's home, Sean discovered that the maniac had killed his whole family, making it look like Derek had committed the crime himself due to a family argument. Sean broke into Kyle's house again. He hopes to find the address of the place where the creep is holding Kate. The guy went down to the garage, got in the car, and turned on the GPS. There's a remote spot that Kyle visits all the time. That's exactly where Sean is heading. But right now, he's fallen into a trap. The killer knows an intruder has entered his home and used the smart house system to lock all the doors. The guy found a bomb in the oven that will go off in half a minute. Sean went back down to the garage and saved his hide by jumping into Kyle's Maserati. He managed to escape at the very last second and headed straight for the country house. The killer had already started covering his tracks to hide out in Canada. For that purpose, he had hidden documents and a new car. Sean sent the FBI a photo of the killer and the address where they could find him. The agents better hurry, because Kyle has opened the pit and started filling it with lye. Sean reached the gate and ran toward the house with a pair of bolt cutters. The feds are on their way there as well. Kyle is the heir to a famous billionaire obsessed with horses. At 14, the boy wanted to impress the trainer he was in love with, but he overdid it. He beat a horse to death, then shot the girl with a pistol so she wouldn't talk.
Now, instead of horses,
He breaks in people.
Sean found Kate's cell fairly quickly. The girl looked out the window and gazed hopefully at her savior. Suddenly, she screamed. Kyle snuck up behind Sean and hit him over the head with a shovel several times. Afterward, he led Kate to the pit to execute her. The poor girl begged him to let her go, or even just leave her to starve in the cage. But Kyle has his own plans. He wanted the beaten guy to see with his own eyes how he would kill Kate. After all, he wanted to save her so badly. Kyle stood pretty far away, but he hit the girl right in the head. FBI agents pulled up to the gate. But alas, they can't drive any further. It's private property. Kyle looked at his latest victim. He usually skins his horses. She got really lucky. In fact, Kate got much luckier than that. The bullet grazed her, so when she came to, the girl tried to climb out of the pit. The earth crumbled, revealing the remains of the maniac's other victims. Some had been lying there for many years. Kate climbed up over the bones and ran into the woods. Sean, seeing this, cheered up, even though he was about to take a bullet to the head.
I hope it was worth it because I'm going to bury you next to her. Only you'll be buried alive.
That's how you save people!
Kate freed Sean. He was going to finish the maniac off, but the killer came to and opened fire on our heroes. A chase through the woods began. Hearing the shots, the agents got the chance to enter the private property. However, the two of them handled it on their own. Kate pretended to be confused and walked right out to Kyle. It was a trick. Sean was hiding behind a nearby tree, ready to strike. He beat the maniac until he turned him into a pulp. Authorities arrived right on time as always. They found the serial killer chained to a chair with needles in his teeth.